Hi, my name is Nelson. I'm your water consultant. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before you start this business, water production business, either the sachet or the bottling production, you had one thing, two things, three things in mind. One of it could be it's a business you want to make profits. Sure, every business should generate profits, money to the owner. Far from the truth. And another thing which I believe that you had in your mind is that you are coming to process food in form of water. Remember, water is one of the classes of food that we have. Now, if you're actually processing this water to make it desirable to the eyes, not only to the eyes, but make it acceptable to the systems, the cell, the organs, the tissue, and the entire system drinks this water and they feel okay. They are hydrated, they are okay. But if the sachet water you're giving, the bottled water you're giving, it's no longer food, but it has been converted to poison because you've lowered the standard or the quality of that product, then what are you doing? You're rather destroying life than protecting or preserving life. And that is why I brought to you this video today, so that as factory owners, as production manager, as operators, as someone that works in water factory, there are tips you should know so that at the end of your production, you have a good quality water that is good for consumption. Today, we'll be looking at 20 tips to maintain the quality of your bottled or sachet water. I have an already packed sachet water here, and I have an already packed bottled water. This is actually 50 cl. Now, if a customer should drink this water and he discover that the water has taste, looking at it, he discover that the water has color, or while trying to drink it, as it's passing through his nose, he discovered that it has odor. It is no longer table water. It is rather a poison. How do we avoid giving out poison to the public? And how do we avoid increasing waterborne diseases in the community that you stay, in the country that you stay? It is only when you know these 20 tips of maintaining or sustaining the quality of your sachet and bottled water. Let's write together. Number one, your printer SOP. What do I mean by printer SOP? Where you buy your printed nylon for sachet productions, once in a while, pay them a visit. Know the factory. Do you know why? A lot of printed nylon comes with either flies attached to the printed nylon, insects attached to the printed nylon, or dry chemical attached to the printed nylon. And when you run it for production, you now discover that your sachet water has flies, other insect, or some black or blue particle inside your water. It's because those printing your nylon do not abide by their own SOP. They don't clean the machines. They don't prepare the machines for your production of printed nylon. So you need to take note of that so that they don't be part of those of things that will contaminate your water. Then vendor storage of your preform or your carbs. Very important. Because what I'm saying this is, out of experience, there was a time we bought carbs and preform. When the preform came, the guy blowing the preform do not take note that those preform were very dirty. He blown it down. And at the point of production, the first feeder, that was when she realized that this bottle is very dirty. It's not like the other bottle. It caught my attention. When I saw it, I discovered that this bottle was, the perfume was wrongly stored. Dust have entered, a lot of things have entered. And if we had used it for production, the water we filled. And if the consumers did not take note of it, they would drink it. And if they drink it, it ends up what? Destroying their system. It ends up becoming what? A poison to them. And that is why your vendor and whoever that is printing your nylon has to abide by certain SOP, standard operating procedure. Then number two, you need to back flush your media. You need to what? Back flush your media. Every day. Every day, no exceptions. As you come the following day to start production, before sending water through your sand, through your carbon, and through your ion exchanger, ensure that you back flush them one after the other. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes. As long as you're back flushing and the water is clear, send it to the next module. The next one, when it's clear, send it to the next module. And then finally, you send it to what? Your pre-treated tank. Ready to pass through your arrow to your treated tank. Very, very important. When you fail to back flush, then you are sending direct water as it is in your raw tank to the pre-treated. And remember that after yesterday's work, there are some particle that was trapped. There are some mold that was trapped. There are certain things that was trapped either in your sand media, your carbon media, or your resin media. If those things are not sent out for a new one to come, then they will enter your pre-treated tank. And before you know, your water starts the process of contamination. So ensure that whoever is in charge of production back flush the mediums. Then the next thing is number 3, washing of tanks. Very important. You have your raw tank, you have a pre-treated tank, and you have your treated tank. These tanks needs to be washed. In a situation where you have a borehole coming to one of the tank that has a mold that is too turbid, ensure that if possible, weekly, 2 weeks, wash that tank. But in a situation where you have a clean water coming from your borehole, you can wash your tank every month. Every month. If it is delayed, 2 months maximum, wash your treated tank, your pre-treated tank, and your raw water tank. Very important. Then number 4, back flush your RO. How do I mean? When water is coming from your pre-treated tank and then crossing through the RO, that is a reverse osmosis. Assuming you worked yesterday and after you work, you shut down the whole process, there are some leftover water in your membrane, in the pipes before the membrane, and the pipes after your membrane. So what do you need to do? You need to let go of those water that was stored overnight. Of course, there might be some microbial activities. So, after your membrane, after your RO, there should be an opening that you open, lock the water that is going to your treated tank, and ensure that the next 2 minutes, as your RO is working, the water is being pumped out, not into your treated tank. With that, after 2 minutes, you open the valve that is going into the treated tank, and you lock the one that is used for flushing. Then you have a clean water through your reverse osmosis. Number 5, changing of your microfilter is very important. A lot of factory neglect it. They left their filters hanging for 2 months, 3 months, even 6 months. The filter has changed color. The filter has a lot of spirogyra on it, and nobody cares to change the microfilter. Very, very important. If you cannot change it in 3 weeks, maximum a month. In fact, you can change your filter in 2 months. I mean, in 2 weeks, rather, please. In 2 weeks. How do I mean? Now, as water keep passing through your microfilter, through your 5 microfilter, through your 1 microfilter, through your 5 microcarbon filter, through your 0.5 filters, continual production will expand the pore size. The first bit filters, that is 5 micro, the pore size could increase to 7 microfilter. The next one, that is 1 microfilter, the pore size can increase to 2, 3, 4 microfilters. And the last one, that is 0.5 microfilter, can enlarge, can increase to maybe 1.5, 2 microfilters. So you see, so now water, treated water, is just passing through the filter without filtration because of constant passing, and the volume of your production is so high. So sometimes it's not when the color of a filter changes, but the duration. Periodically, if it is 2 weeks, with your kind of production, you produce, let's say, 3,000 bottles a day, or 5,000 bottles a day, or you produce up to 5,000 bags of sachet water daily or more. So why should your filter stay hanging for more than 2 weeks? You just have to change it by 2 weeks, because it's no longer doing filtration again. And also, there is another filter that is before your RO. It depends on the size of your RO. If it's a jumbo RO of maybe 5 tons, 2 tons, you have like 6 microfilters, 12 microfilters before your RO, before your vertical pump in the RO. You need to also change it in 3 months. 3 months time, ensure you change it. Otherwise, the more water keep passing through it, the volume of water keep passing through it, it will now lose its filtration, and then nothing, it does not filtration again. So please ensure that in 3 months time you change that one. That of inside production, in 3 weeks maximum, you change it. 2 weeks is okay, so that it will do its proper work of filtering and removing thirst. Also, that is the carbon that is there. Then your UV water sterilizer. Your UV, that's number 5 now. Number 6. Ensure that your UV water sterilizer in your production room, in either your sachet production room or your bottle production room, is on. Before you send water to either your monoblock or to through your sachet, your dingling, or any product that you have in your sachet production room, ensure, if possible, the surface pump that brings water from your treated tank across your filter through your UV water sterilizer, if possible, put them together, so that as soon as you are on the pump, the UV light is automatically on. Most factory, when you go, they've even removed it from the wall, from light. Some it's been plugged, but it's not on. Tell me, where is the germicidal effect? And you're not killing microorganisms in the water. And that is why your water, sachet water, could not last for 2 months. And that is why your bottled water cannot last for a year. The shelf life of sachet water is 2 months, while the shelf life of bottled water is a year. But if there are microorganisms that has not been denatured in the water, it could make your water to fail. So for quality to be sustained for 2 months or 1 year, either sachet or bottle, your UV water sterilizer needs to be on. Then there is another UV light, edge sterilizer at the back of your sachet machine. That UV light sterilizes your printed nylon. Either you pick your printed nylon from your material room, as it is coming, the operator has come in contact with the printed nylon. A lot of things are coming in contact with it. As soon as you hang it at the back of your sachet machine and production starts, as it keeps moving, the UV light at the back of your machine should sterilize the printed nylon. So ensure that you on the UV light at the back of your machine. Ensure that your operator on it and it's always working. Then number 7, do not use chlorine on your treated tank. Do not use chlorine on your treated tank. Do not be tempted to say, let me add a little dose of chlorine in your treated tank. It's not good, because of the residue chlorine leaves. It's going to affect the taste of your water. It's going to affect the quality of your water. So do not use it. And again, do not even use it before your RO. Otherwise, it will destroy your membrane. Take note of that. Number 8, removing of cobwebs. Where your treated tank is, ensure that no insect, ensure that there is no insect of any kind hanging around there, neither cobwebs around that side. Because if anything eventually enters the treated tank, it has contaminated your water. In fact, if someone wants to poison the whole community that you supply or the customers that drinks your water, the only way he can poison your water is locating your treated tank and putting poison inside. And remember, after your treated tank, there is no other machines that can remove poison, that can remove any contaminant from the water again. It is just the other microfilter, and it cannot do that. So please ensure that your treated tanks is kept in a safe place that is far away from cobwebs, insects, or anything that could enter, and ensure that the tank is properly covered. Then, number 9, when you on your RO every day, there is always a reading on the RO, your conductivity reading. Take note of the reading. If possible, have a book. Write the reading of yesterday. Ensure that you check the reading for the purity, and ensure you check for the reading of your raw water. There's a reading. And note that the reading of your purity should always be less than the reading of your raw water. The dense water, the conductivity is always high than the pure water. Any point in time that your purity conductivity reading, that is the unit is always a microsecond per centimeter. At any point in time that the conductivity of your pure water is higher than that of your raw water, something is wrong. It is either the raw water is missing with your treated water, then there is cause for alarm. Something is wrong. You need to fix that so that you don't end up contaminating your water or your water failing in the market. Number 10, your resin needs to be regenerated. Your resin could be either your cation or your anion resins. You need to keep regenerating it using industrial salt. Otherwise, it will come to a point that your resin is just there, inactive, no longer doing its functions, no longer acting as a softener again, no longer removing the hardness of water again. So you need to keep regenerating it every 3 months if possible. And then your media needs to be charged. Your sand, your carbon needs to be recharged. Either if yours is 1 year, if yours is 6 months, if yours is every 2 years, depending on the quality of your carbon that you have, depending on the quality of your sand bed that you have in your stainless module or your stainless media. So they need to be recharged and your resin needs to be regenerated. Then number 11, very important also, flush the sachet machine. This is to all sachet operator. You are an owner of factory, ensure that you keep calling them. Keep calling your operators. Keep calling your production manager. Remind him of those things. If possible, they should have a checklist in the sachet production room and also in the bottle production room. There should be a checklist. They've come for today's work. What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to check their machine. Then the next thing, before they started their first production, they are supposed to flush the machine for like 5 minutes. The yesterday water need to be flushed out. Then the new water start coming in. Very, very important. Otherwise, your first bag of sachet water, your next bag of sachet water, probably your 10th bag of sachet water might have taste, might have color, because you fail to back flush. You fail to flush out the previous water. The same thing with your monoblock. Before you commence production of bottled water, send in some quantity of water of bottle across the washing, across the filling machine, the filling and the capping. Ensure that there's no cap in your capping sections, so that when the bottle comes, it will only wash it. As it's washing, it's flushing the former water, the previous water, and then as it's filling the bottles, it's filling the previous water that needs to be flushed. And then when it comes to capping, it will not cap because there's no cap. Then you collect those bottles with water, throw them away, do it for some times, for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and from with that, your production line is flush and set for quality production. Then number 12, wearing of production of factory wear, production wear during production is very, very important. If you're going to take other person standing on the production, likely do not joke with the person feeding the bottle. The person feeding the bottle needs to be on hand glove. The person feeding the bottle needs to be on nose mask. The person feeding the bottle needs to be on headgear, so that the hair will not be introduced into the bottle. So that while the person speaks, the saliva will not enter the bottle. And at the same time, probably the person has eaten food and properly not washed, or shake has gone to wherever, and then the hand is not safe to come in contact with the bottle. Remember, the bottle already has been sterilized in your material room. So there shouldn't be any human contamination again. That is why we need hand gloves. And then whoever is mounting the monoblock needs to be properly dressed. Properly dressed, with hand glove, with nose masks, with headgear, and everything, because he is the one filling the water and then before capping. So those after the capping, those putting the label directly, or the labeling machine putting it of whichever you have in your factory. Well, they might not need hand glove, they might not need nose masks, or the person packaging also might not need, because already the water has been sealed. But for safety purposes, they need the hand glove, the nose mask, the headgear, and the proper uniform, either lab coat or overall. Very important, so that at the end of production, quality is assured. Number 13 tips that you need to know: there should be an in-house laboratory. There should be an what? In-house laboratory. There should be an in-house laboratory. Very, very important.